Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 3.
Yeah.
It's going from bad to worse, isn't it, bro?
Well, I think that's probably the best way of saying it. We were incredibly sloppy tonight, I think, is the best way of saying it. We were in their final third so often and just passing it around, looking away to break through a low block, and it was almost like we weren't even trying to do that sometimes. It was just passing around, passing sideways, backwards, and then a very obvious switch that we're trying all the time. We were doing the same thing, and they were just letting us stay there until we inevitably made a mistake and quickly countered, and that was it. And they did that 3-4 times, got 3 goals. They did the only thing they needed to do was beat us and just let us make mistakes, which we were making far too often.
Every single game, innit? It's the same thing.
Well, I think that's the problem. It's more about whether or not we can stop doing this, and if we can do that, it needs to be very soon, because in possession we had no plan. It was just get up there and then wait something.
For a moment.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
A lot of people are saying that, or they feel like, I see a lot of people around the ground, and the feeling here is like, the players aren't playing for Erik ten Hag anymore. He's lost control of this. He can't turn this around. Do you agree with that, or do you think that he can stem this bleed, bounce back from this?
Well, I mean, you can still see they're putting effort in, but it's coming out in the wrong way. We've got two of our midfielders booked in 20 minutes, so they're trying, but I think it's more than just a pure downing of tools. This is something else, and as much as I want to believe that Ten Hag will do it, I can't say that he will. I hope he does. I want him to. I like him as a manager. He did well last season, so there's a potential, but
look at that from last. Yeah, that's another thing. Roll back to come in a little bit to February. Winning the Carabao Cup against Newcastle, ironically.
Yeah.
Look where we are now. Look where we are now from that point.
Well, yeah, you said it all. It's just the only thing is it all downhill from here? Are we going to stay like this for a while, or are we maybe going to go on a decent run at some point? A reset somewhere. Well, we thought the international break was going to be a reset, and we got three games on the bounce, and then 3-0 to Man City, and it easily could have been more. Yeah. And then here today, so you can't use the excuse of, well, at least it's City, at least it's a domineering team. And
a lot of people have been saying, drop this player, drop that player. He's made loads of changes today, and still no reaction. Oh. If anything, that's kind of that's even more damning. Doesn't matter who he plays, he's not getting anything out.
Yeah, again, I think we got more energy, we got less experience, and we got less of that creative instinct. And then even with the substitutions, when we did bring the experienced players on, the only one that did anything decently well was Wan-Bissaka, and I'm glad to see him back from injury, and hopefully it can be better than Dalla, because every time, I think he was beaten almost every time. I think there was only one I saw him win his duel on that side. He offered nothing. It's a wonder he wasn't pulled off before half-time, to be honest.
And that is one of those as well where, if you play badly, sometimes you might look at one player and say, oh, he was particularly bad today, or what was so-and-so doing, or how did they stay on the pitch? Tonight was like, all of them. Everyone. Apart from Onana picking the ball out of his net, which, what could he do with all them goals? Yeah. All of them. Atrocious.
Like I said, all of them, except for Wan-Bissaka when he came on, and again, even Onana, what he did in his saves was all right, but there are moments towards the end there. I think it was Anthony was running all the way down, and he waits, and he's got space. He could have long balled it to him,
and he just gave up by that time.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Even if we weren't going to win the game at that point, we had to be incredibly lucky to have broken them then. I think it was late on, but the fact they're not even fighting for a consolation for the fans, and even after, I felt sorry for Mason Mount as he was doing a walk around. The one player from us that didn't head straight to the tunnel. He walked around, and from the few fans that actually left at that point, every one of them clapped him, because I guess it felt someone was at least showing they care, to be honest.
Listen, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you.